Okay, thank you. Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you have all seen the video. So I don't know if I make a summary or maybe I will begin with some questions. If you have some question on the video, I can answer them to you, but otherwise I can make a summary, a short summary of the video, because I think that the video was quite enough on the subject. So maybe someone has a question or a remark maybe, or something about frugal innovation that inspires him or her. No? Michel, I don't know if you have a question or the end is still up. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to take it out.
So maybe, yes, I have a question, but no?
Yes, I want to ask one thing, because about frugal innovation, you talked that it's often like low cost and low cost employees and addressing minorities. But do you think also it's a concept for established companies which they could use and incorporate?
Yeah, because as you can see in the video, there is a difference between the initial idea, the Jugaad, the Indian term, and the frugal innovation, which is the use of the Jugaad in a more extensive way and in a more processive way. So even big companies, like in the example, like General Electric or PepsiCo, are using frugal innovation, and in fact, maybe it's for those companies. In the case of those companies, it's the more important, because they make the more. They are the less sustainable companies, because when it's a little company who make frugal innovation, it's always a frugal company. But when PepsiCo tries to be frugal, it really has an impact on environment, on diversity, on frugality, on flexibility, and it has a very big impact, a much bigger impact than with little companies. So really, the passage between Jugaad and the frugal innovation can be seen as the passage between little companies and big companies who try to do better with less. So I think PepsiCo is quite a good example of frugal innovation, because they have a lot of projects all around the world, usually in poor countries, and all their projects are very successful in terms of sustainability.
Okay, thank you. I think the differentiation between Jugaad and frugal innovation is then a bit more clear. Yeah.
I have another question. Where did you upload that video? Because I was looking in Elias and I didn't find it there. And I also still don't have access to Moodle. So where can I find the video?
Oh, sorry, we sent around the link, I thought, to the internal area on the Transform platform, and there are the videos and the slides. And you should have received it. I'm sorry if this is not the case.
I was just looking again into my mails and I didn't receive any link to that.
Okay. We didn't send out, you're correct, the direct link to this video. We just sent out earlier a link to the general platform and the password. Georgie, do you remember it? It's, I think, Transform 2022, right? People are not
I've been on the platform before, but I didn't receive.
Sorry, we didn't. This is at the moment the major communication platform, or the major platform where you can find all the contents related to the course, because until now we didn't have a shared platform like a Moodle that we could use for all of you, since you're at different universities, and it's really not so easy to invite students from other universities to their own universities' platforms. So this is why we set up the transfer platform. This is one reason, and there you can find the contents. Sorry, that was a mistake on our side that we didn't set out the direct link to it. We will do it next time.
So I will have a look at the video after the session. Thank you.
And Daniela, maybe?
Yeah, just as a heads up, because it took me a while to find it. Yeah, it's on the Transform, and I think it was under student modules, and then you have to go module 2, that's innovation, and it's at the top. I like it. At the bottom, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I just found it.
Good.
Okay, so maybe Yanan. Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Because last session we talked about the innovation. So it could be something new. It could be like a new concept, a new method, or something like this. And for this time, for this frugal innovation, actually, I want to ask, is that more about a concept? So kind of like a business idea or business concept which the companies can use to save more energy and to lower the price? Or should it be more practical? For example, we can build some more machines, or like we can build up some new practical tools for this.
I think it can be both, because like when you say the example of the refrigerator with clay, there is nothing new. It's not a new concept. It's not it's because it's not a new technique. It's not a new concept. It's not a new product. It's not even a new market. But the sum of it all make it new. That's what is interesting with frugal innovation, because somehow it's not like a regular innovation. It's not like it's a new process, or it's a new product, or it's a new technique, or it's a new concept. I think it's the fact that they are together that it's new, but but nothing is really new. It's the assembly of all together that make the innovation. And sometimes, and strangely, in frugal innovation, it's more to take old concepts, old techniques, old materials, and to make it to add them together, and that's what it's new. The innovation lies in the rethinking of the process more than in new concepts.
Yeah. Okay. But for us, I mean, for this class, I think it would be a bit more difficult to think this question from the perspective of practical machines. For example, our group was discussing about this frugal innovation, and one of my group members, she had a really nice idea about, for example, to create some new machines for farmers to help them to work more effectively. But since we are just sitting here and thinking something maybe like an idea or concept, it's difficult for us to think this in a technical way.
I don't think you have to go this deep in the technique, maybe because it's quite hard for you, because it's not you won't go till the prototype or so on. So and you are not obliged to make a frugal innovation. You can make an innovation, but if you want to add frugality in your innovation, you have to go deep in the concept of your machine. What can change? What can be frugal in this machine? Maybe she won't use electricity. Maybe she will use wind. Maybe she will use a horse. I don't know. But it's more like that. You have to look at your product and your innovation and see what you can finally add or put out, like electricity usually.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Another question, Artyom?
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, I still have a question regarding the previous topic. Here it was told that the slides and the video we can find at the transfer platform, this side. But here at module 2, it is still stated that slides coming soon.
Yes, it's in module 1. Module 1. It's module 1.
It's in module 1, right?
Are you sure you're in the student area? Because we have a public part of the website where the videos are not yet uploaded because we didn't have a chance to do some post-production. And we have an internal area. So you really have to go. And I think Georgie shared the link in the chat to the student area too. And only there you can find the links to the videos and the slides that are already uploaded. Not when you just go on the public website. There you cannot find the slides yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We will send around the link again, but you can also, for you now, copy it from the chat.
So for my part, I won't take too much time, but I think that what is important, I'm going to share it with you. Okay, what is important for your group work, your group session later, it's maybe this. It's the business model of the frugal innovation. That's why I was talking about. In a frugal innovation, you have a value proposition that can be one of those, but it can be other proposition. But usually it's one of those. So think about it. Your proposition, you're adding value because there is no electricity required. The product is affordable. It's a product for a niche market, a market that usually is forgotten by the big companies. It's about female empowerment or minorities empowerment. It's an easy access to product, and it's usually a sustainable product. And those propositions are very important in the frugal innovation, much more than new technologies and so on. And how to create this value, how to generate those propositions. It's about out-of-the-box thinking. So be bold to create a frugal innovation. Think about raw materials, low-cost materials, old materials such as clay. Low-cost employees doesn't mean bad employees, but employees that usually are not taken care of. It's very simple technology, so it's almost the opposite of the traditional innovation. Low-cost products, which are always forgotten. The use of local supply chain, maybe obviously local employment. And the capture of the value in the business model of frugal innovation, it's the profit on sales. It's a little profit, but on a big amount of sales, because it touches a lot of customers who are usually forgotten because they don't have a very big value. Each customer doesn't have a lot of resources, so they cannot spend a lot of money. So usually they are forgotten by the big companies. But there are a lot of there is a lot of them, and you can make profit by making a lot of sales, but on a very little profit on each sales. So I think this is a good summary of what frugal innovation, what lies in frugal innovation. And now maybe I will show you. These are the 6 rules of frugal innovation, but you have seen the video, obviously not for those who had problems, but you will. But so I give them to you again. Think and act flexibly. Flexibility is the essence of frugal innovation. Simplicity, keep it simple. Inclusivity, include the margin. Follow your heart. Usually, the big success in frugal innovation are the people who just wanted to do what they wanted to do. They only believe in their guts. Do more with less. And very important, in adversity, you can find opportunities. So take these rules in mind if you want to add frugality in your innovation. So in the video, I was talking about questions. So I don't know if, obviously not for those who hadn't seen the video. I don't know if you had the time to think about it, but I think that the group work will be about that. So it's sort of a guide to help you find your innovation, or maybe to to think about innovation. So in first question, maybe what is for you, for your group, the most important innovation of the 21st century? Why? It will be nice. It will be nice if it was a frugal innovation, but it's harder to know. It's harder to be aware of frugal innovation because they're usually more confidential than the big ones. Then maybe in group, you can think about the domain where you would like to innovate, like the group thinking about agriculture. So what is the domain you think could be a good domain to innovate, and to innovate in keeping in mind that you want to be sustainable, don't never forget it. So agriculture, it's a good start. But then if you have an idea of frugal, open innovation, or if you don't, maybe to add frugality in an existing innovation, I think it will be a good starting point to your group work. And the fourth question is, it's not more like a bonus question. What's the sixth rule of frugal innovation do you mainly follow? That you follow your heart, you keep it simple, you keep it flexible, inclusive, sustainable. Well, what rule is your main concern? So I think Georgia and Dominica, it's maybe time for the groups to think about those questions and to be split in group. I don't know how to do that. I don't.
Yes, we can now go into the group work. So I think it would be I don't know, are these questions on the slides, right? So the participants already have these questions. If not, perhaps you can quickly make a screenshot to make sure that you don't forget any of these questions. They are surely very helpful to starting discussion. And I think now it would be probably something like 45 minutes time for the group work. So we will split you now into groups according to the groups that you're already part of. We have prepared breakout sessions that you can join in a second. I will have some few small explanations on how to do that, but then you can join the groups. And at the end, we would have another, I think, for 15 minutes where we can get together and discuss these questions or your ideas on these questions or the problems that you had, and then talk a little bit about how to proceed within the next weeks. During the group work, you will have some time to start discussing, and then you will be visited by one of us. So you will have the possibility to ask questions and to start discussing with us as well. So we will join you in your groups in a minute, but. For the first couple of minutes, we will let you think about these questions, or perhaps if you already have some ideas, you can, of course, already start talking about the ideas that you have developed. But I think the questions are great to really think about what is innovation, what are the things that are driving us or have driven us so far, and how can we start and make something new out of this. Before I now talk about what are the groups and what are the breakout sessions, are there any more questions on frugality or on the group work that you are supposed to start now? This does not seem to be the case.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have prepared 12 rooms now for the breakout sessions, and there are the names of the rooms are in accordance with the topics that you have told us that you are interested in. And they are related to the SDGs. So for instance, we have one room, SDG number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. One group was interested in that. There is a group, life below water, and so on. So it's really according to the SDGs that you named us. We have now named the groups. You are, of course, completely free to change topic or to focus on one particular issue and not to address the entire SDG or try to resolve the SDG. There are two complications to make sure that you are in the right group. So there are two groups on quality education. There is group 1. Here we have Simon, Mami Nyayina, Dagmavi, Selina, Katarzyna, and Karl Jakob. You are part of this group. And there is a second group on quality education. And here we have, I will just read out the names again, Shivangi, Florian, Anna, Benedict, and Teresa. And we have two groups on health and well-being. So the first, number one, is Paul Alix, Flora, Ryan, Chloe, and Yasmin. And in the second one, we have Sami, Fedor, Marie, and Philip. And there are three groups that haven't yet decided on a topic yet. So these rooms have no names. In room number 10, please, Teresa, Yi, no, not Teresa, sorry. Yi, Artyom, Mathieu, and Cécile, please go to room number 10. Room number 11 is for Pauline, Marine, Atis, Walid, and Florian. And room number 12 is for Claire, Muna, Marvin, Agat, Natnail. Okay, so I hope I will start all the sessions now. So you should now be able to join the groups. And I will hope you will find them. If not, if I was too fast and you're not sure where to go, just ask me again. I will wait 1 or 2 minutes, and we will give you again a couple of minutes time, and then join you for questions and discussion. Questions? So yeah, welcome back. We really hope you had interesting discussions. Oh yeah, we had the impression that you have had quite intense discussions. We visited the groups, right? So we were able to see a little bit, or to get some insights into what the problems or the challenges that you're currently dealing with. And for many of you, it is still not so easy to find a concrete problem that they want to work on, right? To really say, okay, this is the topic, or this is the idea for our project. And this is completely fine. I mean, most of you have discussed different ideas, or have chosen a broad area in which they want to work on by selecting one SDG that they want to address. And it's completely fine to be here, to be there at this point in time. You will have the next weeks to continue working as a group on the project, to defining in more detail what you are interested in, and then to work on the different elements that we will present in the modules. And you still have time until the end of June to really developing the assignment that we expect from you. So it's a lot of time, and it's completely fine if you don't have a completely fixed idea yet. Nevertheless, we had the impression that many of you are really going into or approaching the goal to really find a project or a broad topic for their project. And it would be great if some of you could perhaps share their ideas or the state of their discussion. I know that the group on reducing inequality had very interesting discussions. It would be great if someone could step up and talk a little bit about what is the topic, or the broad topic, or what are the topics that are out there and that they are currently discussing, perhaps not yet deciding on what exactly they want to work on. Is somebody still here?
So we would be willing to show what we did.
Yeah, it would be great.
And maybe I can just share my screen for a second, because we were working.
Wait, I have to make you then. Sorry, I'm looking for you in the list of participants. Why don't I see you?
I think I already can share.
Yeah, can you? Oh, that's
Yes.
perfect. I thought only co-hosts can share, but that's even better.
Okay. So regarding question 1, what is the most? So first of all, our topic is sustainable cities. And regarding question 1, what's the most important innovation in the 21st century? We were talking about the management of the cities, how the city governments manage the cities by also including the citizens in their decisions and stuff like that. Another important point was, for example, like changing the priority of city usage, and like we are coming more and more to design towards like focused around the human being in cities and not just the car, for example, or companies. So more like walking only routes and city lanes and stuff like that. Another important point, or really important innovation in terms of sustainable cities or cities in general, was Google Maps and navigation. So it really changed how we not just how we see a city, like how we live in a city. So if we drive in a city, we know where we're going. We don't have to ask anyone. If we want to find a restaurant, we just look up on Google Maps. If we want to find anything, basically, we can just look up on Google Maps and we have any information we need. So that really changed the cities in the last century. Also, we were talking about urban agriculture, how much potential that has and how that can change the need for space in cities, but also the need for food. And we were talking about same-day delivery systems. For example, in Germany, we have Link and Gorilla, which really had like a big impact over the last, I would say, like 2 to 3 years, how people do shopping, not just grocery shopping, but any consumer goods. So that's it for what we were talking about in question 1. Question 2, what we would like to innovate. So we were listing up some problems we found in cities and prioritized on them. And we came to the conclusion that the main or most important point we would like to focus on is traffic, and because it kind of impacts all the other dimensions we were thinking of. So traffic is highly related to infrastructure, also the environment, health and safety, affordability of basically everything, but also social aspects. So that's the topic we would like to focus on. And we also had some ideas how we can fix some of these problems we were listing. One of the ideas we were talking about was the consolidation integration of personal transportation. So you all know the problem that you want to get from A to B and you don't know, should you take a bike, should you take an e-scooter, should you take a tram, the car or whatever. And there's no offering where you can find all these means of transport in one application, for example. And you also know what is the fastest and the most affordable option. And so here we listed some requirements or some dimensions which are important to consider in that regard. For example, availability of transportation, affordability, reliability, quality. So the kind of customers we're facing, for example, an old person who wants to go shopping, grocery shopping, or a commuter or a tourist. So they all have different requirements and different needs when it comes to transportation, and also accessibility and delivering the right product. So when you want to go on shopping trip and you need a small car for car sharing, you don't want a bike. So, or like it has to fit your requirements, your needs. So that's it for question 2. And it kind of also already answers question 3. So frugal innovation. So there are some apps or some applications in general which are trying to do like the consolidation of personal transportation. We would like to extend it and integrate some more services and make a holistic approach, have an holistic approach on this issue. And question 4, what rule do we mainly follow? So we thought about one major principle behind it. It should be available for a broad audience, not just for governments or for people who can afford it or for young people. So it should be available for everyone. And it should not exceed the boundaries of affordability and accessibility. So it should be available and affordable for everyone. So yeah, that's basically what we were talking about.
Thank you so much. That was quite impressive what you did within the last 40 minutes. So this is not the expectation was not the expectation. You exceeded the expectations, I would say. And it really shows how diverse such a topic can be, right? So it's thinking about sustainable cities. This has, what you showed greatly, so many different aspects, and choosing one is surely something which is not easy. but I think you made great progress. So the other, perhaps one, we have time for perhaps one other group. After seeing this, nobody wants to present anymore. No.
No, like we discussed education, right? The goal number 4, and we also prepared something which I will share now. All right. First, to answer the first question, what was the most important innovation in the current century? We said, after discussing a little bit, first we said digitization, and then we were thinking about, okay, when did it started? Like there were different phases of digitization, which started already earlier, but we thought that the major shift this century was with the introduction of the first smartphone, or the first phone which was considered as a smartphone, which was the iPhone in June 2007, and it completely changed the way we are communicating and how people interact in general. And that's what we said will be our domain in the field we want to address somehow within our project. And now Selina will continue with the other questions. Maybe you can continue, Selina, otherwise I will.
Yes, sorry.
Thanks.
Okay, so I didn't find the unmute. So we saw that there was a problem, emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic, and it especially brought great difficulties for families with children in kindergarten or in primary education. So the main problems we saw that those families faced were, well, on one hand, that the children lacked social interaction. They were affected in their learning process, and also the parents felt overwhelmed. Okay, and now, Dagmar, we will continue with our solution.
Okay, so basically, my roommate just told you about the problem. So the solution we came up with is basically coming up with a platform that will assist parents in educating their children. Not only does it allow us to fill the gap that was created because of COVID in kids' education, but it will also allow us to make the quality of the education even better, because it will be more specific to the children's needs, and this way the quality of education that the children would actually receive will be better suited than the one they would have actually received. Continue.
In addition, that's actually also the answer to the third question, right? With frugality. The fourth question was which rule we want to follow, which is also outlined here, that we want to see this COVID pandemic as an opportunity, and by that seek opportunity in adversity.
That's great. Thank you very much. I think it's really interesting to see that both of you have, or both groups have selected somehow digital technologies to focus on, right, and how they can help to overcome sustainability issues, be it transport problems or traffic problems in cities or education. So probably this is something that we will see often, but of course you're not limited to that, right? But this can be hopefully also motivating for others. So in order to remain within the planned time and not to exceed our time, what I wanted, I will very shortly share my screen. because we received some questions from several groups asking us what exactly is expected from them regarding the group work. So what is the expected outcome of the group work? So I jump onto one slide from the introduction session from 2 weeks before to try to make clearer, and I'm sorry that we didn't do that. It's obviously not completely clear to everybody. So you will now start to work in the groups that you have formed so far, right? If there's somebody who is not part of a group yet, if there was a mistake or problem in that, please let me know as soon as possible, and then we will assign you, because the groups seem to be quite fixed already. And you will, as a group, continue working on the same project. So what we did last week and so far was to really think about what are the problems out there that are dear to us and that are important to us and that need some more activity from students, from entrepreneurs. So this was the starting point of this course, right? And last week, Gita and Deborah introduced to you ideas of innovation, open innovation and frugal innovation that should help you to develop a solution or an idea of how to resolve these problems. So one part of the assignment would be to actually describe what is the problem that is out there that you want to address, what are already solutions existing out there, to have an idea whether this is really not answered or what parts have already been addressed and what not, and then to describe your idea. And within the next weeks, we will also provide you some tools and more detailed many tools to really that help you to advance on developing these solutions. Next week, for instance, we will talk about strategies and business models and give you concrete tools that help you to develop a business model around your idea. So taking the example of the app for helping parents educating their children, how could this exactly look like? What are key elements of the app? What are key elements of the business model? What are key activities? What are central resources that you would need, such as you would need some developers, for instance, that do that for you unless you can do it yourself. These kind of things we will address next week, and this will help you to develop the solution develop ideas on how to realize your idea. And then what is typical that when you start a new organization, be it for profit or non-profit, your impact is rather limited, right? You can only reach so and so many people at the first stand. So we will then also think about how to go a step further, how to go from very small wins to really growing your impact, how to address more people, or how to address people in other contexts, or how to develop other ideas that could help you to grow your impact. And in the last part, we will talk about what is the impact of your organization? How can you actually measure it? Because only when you can measure it, you can also manage it, right? There might be great intentions behind some ideas, but they can potentially just not have the impact that they intend to have. And then people invest resources and effort without that they really make a change. So being aware of the impact that you have will be helpful. And there we will also provide you tools that help you to develop a model for your organization and help you to think about how to collect the data that would be needed to measure and manage your impact. And very broadly speaking, the assignment could then look like that you will have a chapter on innovation. What is your idea? How is it new? What problems do we address? You will have a chapter on strategy and your business plan. You will then have a chapter on scaling and then on impact management and management. Very broadly speaking, this can be more detailed, of course. And this would be our expectation, that you really work on the project as if you would really be a group of founders, a group of entrepreneurs who are seeking to bring this project into life at some point. Of course, this is not part of the expectation and not part of the assignment. But of course, we hope that you engage in a way as if you would really plan to make it happen. And perhaps, who knows, your work on these projects can continue. So I will stop here and hope that it has become a little bit clearer now, but we will continue working in groups, in these group sessions every 2 weeks. And in between, of course, we expect you to meet as groups and to continue working on the topics and to further defining your ideas and projects.
Dominika, maybe if I can make a very short addition, I think it's really inspiring and very impressive of what you came up with. And then I was also in another group that had very concrete and very original ideas around how to work for sustainable consumption. So I think you're all on the right track. Don't worry too much about, things not being clear cut yet. The idea really is to also guide you through this, and we're going to work on the same kinds of things every week with some inputs, and then we're going to have those working sessions. And one message that I also really want to send, although I know assignments are very important and you have to know the rules and so on, I think what we want to do with this course is also encourage a little bit of experimentation, creativity, and really giving you as much space as you want to fill, basically, right? So if you have a great idea of how to present this or how to work this out, we will have the presentation sessions. I mean, you can go and start the fireworks and do whatever you think is a good way. We have a common denominator with the assignment, but what I also mentioned towards one group is that we want to feature the best student outputs on the platform and potentially also invite you or some of the teams to present this at a large management conference, which is happening this summer. So I think there's quite a few sort of incentives and gadgets that other courses don't have. So also make use of the liberties that you have in this course. Again, there is going to be some reference frame which makes sure that this is fair and everyone knows what the expectations are. And at the same time, we encourage you to be as creative and proactive as possible.
Perfect.
Right. And so we're five minutes over time. So I guess just see you next week for inputs on strategy. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.